Hi guys, welcome to the Millennium Movie Fan Channel. My name's Tyler. Today's movie review is going to be for the season finale of The Mandalorian Season 2. This is Chapter 16, The Rescue, and I really enjoyed this episode. So if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you give me a thumbs up down below. Even if you're not, if you like the video, give me a thumbs up, and that really helps out the channel. Also hit subscribe and the little notification bell. That way you get alerts to when I post a new video. And you can also share this video around to all your friends and family on Facebook, Twitter, and all the other social medias if you're looking to help out and spread the word of what we do here, talking movies with each other. This episode was awesome. It starts with the Slave One pursuing Dr. Pershing, who is the cloner guy with the patch that we've seen previous episodes working on Baby Yoda once Moff Gideon gets his hands on him. So they get on board a ship, and Cara Dune just like shoots this guy in the face on Disney Plus, and I was like, oh my god. So the crew nabs Pershing as somebody who is important to their rescue attempt with Baby Yoda. They also seek out Bo-Katan and ask her for help to help retrieve Grogu as well. So when they go there, Boba Fett and Sasha Banks' character have a little bit of like a confrontational thing going on. They scuffle a little bit, some fisticuffs, and she tornado DDTs the guy with her jetpack. And I was like, oh my god. I'm a big WWE guy. So she like ran up the wall and was like, phew, and like her jetpack went off. She spun him around. It was crazy. Bo-Katan says if they win and they're able to defeat Moff Gideon, they're going to take the light cruiser and they're going to use it to regain Mandalore. She thinks she'll have the Darksaber at that point. If you watch the whole episode, you know that's not the case. They do take the light cruiser though, so maybe we will see that as a future storyline down the road. It seems like that's going to be part of the plot of season 3 as they take back Mandalore. They might have to put Mando out as like a figurehead, and Bo-Katan leads from like behind, or she helps him become a leader regretfully because she thought that was going to be her role in all this. I don't know how this is going to work, but I'm excited for season 3 because this episode was so good and set it up so good. I think it was really cool to see the launch sequence of a TIE fighter out of like a cruiser like that. I don't know if we've ever seen one that you like follow it from the perspective of the TIE fighter coming out of the cruiser. Maybe I'm wrong, but we see that with the light cruiser. That was pretty cool. So the crew lands the stolen Imperial shuttle in the hangar, and it looks like Boba Fett is like shooting after them, and they need to request like an emergency landing. Moff Gideon's kind of onto this, like this is weird. They land, and all the girls come out and start kicking ass, and that's part of their plan. And they're a distraction so Mando can go and get the baby before they can deploy the Dark Troopers. They start getting deployed already. One of them gets through the doors and Mando has to fight him. And luckily it's only one because, man, this thing kicks his ass and he has to use everything in his arsenal to combat this thing and barely kills it. And then he shoots the rest of them out of the airlock, and I thought they were just done. I was like, okay, now they're out of the way. We don't have to deal with them. They're going to take the ship with Moff Gideon, and I thought the episode would just end. So Mando's able to get away, get to the cell. There's 2 stormtroopers outside. Again, we get a brutal murder. He like stabs the one guy, and then the other dude, he's up behind him, and he just breaks his neck on the thing. This is right outside Grogu's cell. The door opens, and Moff Gideon's standing there, and he's like, huh! I just wanted to show off that I bought this. And I pre-ordered the Black Series one too, so I'll be waving that around in my apartment. They get to talking, and Gideon's like, just take the baby. I have what I need. I have his blood. Just take him. And of course he's suckering Mando in, so he kind of turns his back to him, and he whips out the Darksaber. And I love the fight choreography that takes place here because he like swings from behind him to in front of him, which knocks Mando back towards the door, and they fight through the doorway and out into the hallway, and the fight spills out into the hallway. And it was an interesting, whoever did the fight choreography, that was awesome. So of course Mando defeats Moff Gideon. I don't know why I said of course, but I mean he pretty handily beat him, which I didn't know was going to happen. It was kind of interesting, but he beats him and has the Darksaber in hand when he walks back to the bridge of the ship that Bo-Katan and the rest of the ladies had taken already. And Bo-Katan has this look on her face like, shit. Because Mando bested Gideon in combat, I guess he's the holder of the Darksaber, which is how it worked before, but now they're saying Moff Gideon's like, haha, you might as well kill him and take it now, because I guess you have to forcibly beat the person or whatever in combat, and you can't just give it to him, although Sabine kind of gave it to Bo-Katan in Star Wars Rebels, the cartoon. Dave Filoni was involved in that too, so I'm sure he's got something figured out, but I don't know how that's going to work, how they're going to get around that. But I trust that he knows what he's doing. So anyway, they're all on the bridge, and the Death Troopers fly back, and this is very Iron Man-esque as well, and we've seen a lot of that with Jon Favreau's involvement, and we just see his stamp on this and his Iron Man vibes that he gives to certain things like that, like Mando fighting the Gamorrean guards in one of the first episodes this season. I got that vibe that this is like an Iron Man type deal. So they're busting down the door of the bridge. This lone X-Wing flies in, and they're like, what the hell is this? And I'm like, one X-Wing with no backup? That's weird. Then they're like, X-Wing, report yourself. And nobody answers. And I'm like, okay, so it's somebody we know that doesn't feel like they have to have backup. This show, we've always seen at least 2 X-Wing pilots together, if not like 3. They have backup. This guy didn't. And it pulls into the docking thing, and if you haven't seen it for the first time, you might notice the astromech droid in there is familiar. In the security monitor, we see a rogue Jedi cutting dudes down. It's in black and white. Steps forward, you see the lightsaber ignite, and it's green. You're like, okay, there's a green lightsaber rogue Jedi in an X-Wing. I wonder who it is. And you see the glove on the specific hand, and you're like, oh my god. And he's fighting, and he twirls around, and he's got the belt on, and you're like, holy shit, they're doing it. And the anticipation that they create when the droids spin around and everybody's looking at the screens in the bridge, like, what is going on? Grogu's touching the screen, like this is the guy he was waiting for. Obviously, it's a Jedi, and he knows where they are. But the doors open up, and the anticipation that it built made that scene even cooler, because you're like, holy shit, here he comes. And it's a big hallway scene, and it's reminiscent of Darth Vader in Rogue One, where he's just tearing up the rebel troopers on the Tantive 4, and you're like, oh my god, here we go. And it literally was. It was just like that scene. And this week, everybody's been posting all the videos of side-by-side the hallway fights from both the Mandalorian with the Jedi and with Darth Vader in the hallway in Rogue One, and they're just almost exactly alike. And even the Ben Solo at the end of Rise of Skywalker is very similar. That one's a lot different. He's doing backflips and shit, and it's not in the hallway, but they move so similar, and that was great. But it's cool to see him walk forward, and there's no wasted motion. When he cuts through one of the Dark Troopers, he cuts through him, the lightsaber stays there until he has to move again. And half the time, he's not even looking. The eyes are covered. And that's like an old Ben Kenobi trick where he had the blast shield down in front of his face and he was blocking the bullets from the training droid. That was just awesome. So this is a Jedi Knight that is like experienced, and it was very cool to see him kicking ass. He does a similar thing to when Darth Vader lifts the guy up against the ceiling, throws him against the wall, all that. He brings the droid closer to him and then cuts it. That was cool. And crushing the droid was pretty sweet when he just froze it where it was and crushed it up. That was awesome. They let him through the blast doors, the hood comes off, and of course it's Luke Skywalker, and just that flipping motion. You see it in The Last Jedi where he flips his hood up, and he does it a couple times, obviously, in like Return of the Jedi and stuff, but that flipping motion is Mark Hamill all day. So I could tell that somebody at least watched the footage of that and got it down to perfection, or Mark Hamill stood there and did the motion. And I guess Mark Hamill was there on set and did the motion. I can't believe they kept that a secret. That's kind of crazy. That was great. And the CGI, I think, looks really good. It's one of those things that they could probably improve over time, like how they removed the jeans guy in the background from that one episode. They touch up all these different kind of CGI projects, and it's going to be on Disney Plus forever. So they might, as technology improves, figure out that, hey, this is going to be really cheap just to touch this up, make it look good. People are going to go back and watch this forever and ever and ever. So let's just touch it up a little bit, make it look better. I think it looked pretty good as it is, but all these things are coming out with people deep faking it, and it looks even better. So I'm sure they could improve it over time. When Mando takes off his mask, that was very sad. I almost cried. I was like crying around. My hands were shaking. I was like, oh my god, it's Luke Skywalker. But then he takes off the helmet and he's saying goodbye to the baby, and it was reminiscent of Darth Vader when he's like, I want to look at you with my own eyes. before we leave each other. So that was very sad, and I couldn't believe that he was passing Grogu along to Luke. That's crazy. It was one of those things that we speculated, but just to see it happen, I couldn't believe that that's where they took this. It was just a roller coaster of emotions. And then R2-D2 rolls up, and you're like, oh shit, again. I was just like, I was against the ropes of like and slapped around with how I was feeling. I was like, oh my god. Now R2's rolling up, and he kind of like interacts with Grogu like he's seen him before at the temple, maybe, because he was there a lot, and that was kind of cool. For the sake of not interrupting the flow of the episode, I get why Mando didn't like ask him a bunch of questions to vet if he was a good guy or not. The audience knows Luke is a good guy and what he's doing and that, but Mando he wasn't like, let's exchange information. How am I gonna like find you if you need me, or like I could help if he comes in danger again, like I'll help protect. I don't know. They didn't really do any of that, and I understand. I just thought it was weird. They didn't spend like, 2 days together on like some side quests like he's done with other people to like know he's a good guy. He spent like 2 minutes with him and he hardly said anything. And then he gave the baby away. Well, like I said, the audience knows, so I guess it's just okay. But the audience also is thinking in the back of their head, like, okay, he's going to take this kid as a student, and then Kylo Ren's going to murder him. He's like, I'll protect him with my life. And you're like, oh, Kylo Ren's going to kill this kid. There's a huge time gap. I hope Grogu goes on vacation or something that day. Or there's a lot of like this is kind of bad, but there's like the school shooter memes where he's like, yeah, Grogu, I kind of like you, don't come into school tomorrow. He's got the lightsaber, but I don't know. They could do something where he's not there, or he leaves the Jedi Order, goes back to the Mandalorian and wants to see his dad, or wants to claim Mandalore as his own, or help take back Mandalore, or fight in the Mandalorian Wars. Whatever's going to happen on that side with that story, maybe he comes back into it, and he doesn't want to be a Jedi because he had to give up his attachment to his father that was already really, really strong, which Ahsoka warned him. Maybe he leaves with Kylo. They never say that people didn't leave with him. We shall see. I feel like we'll get it in a comic book or something. The post-credit scene is great with Boba Fett. They showed Jabba's palace, and it looked just like it did in Return of the Jedi. I was happy to see Bib Fortuna. I was like, hey, it was like the meme with Leonardo DiCaprio in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I was like, there's Bib Fortuna. Bam, shot. He got killed by Boba Fett. I was like, oh, shit. So what it looks like is Boba Fett is going to take over Jabba the Hutt's criminal empire in his own series, which I think is great. I can't wait for the Book of Boba Fett. Sounds like it's going to be cool. Overall, I really like the episode. I think like the girl power scene where they're all teaming up that people are kind of torn about was great. It was awesome. And it made sense to have all those characters together. It's a little weird that third Mandalorian guy that they had wasn't there. I like the jokes that I've seen online of he was in the bathroom and he came out and he was like, where did everybody go? But he could have died on a mission or been sent on another mission by Bo-Katan, and he was just gone doing something else. But yeah, there was a third Mandalorian guy that wasn't there. But for the sake of having it be all girls, I think they chose to keep him out, which is just a small thing that you could write off any which way in your head. So I'm okay with that because what they gave us was awesome, and it really wasn't forced. It wasn't like Avengers Endgame when there's a huge battlefield that's like miles long and all the girl superheroes somehow end up in the same frame together. It's a little bit forced, but Star Wars has always had strong female characters, and they don't have to really push that. They just do what characters in Star Wars do and kick ass, and they write good stories for them, and they're good performances, and they just do what a good character does, and it doesn't matter what gender they are. So I think it's awesome. I just wanted to stress that because there's people getting all stupid about it, and it's like, dude, it was good. So what are you complaining about? It made total sense. They were all there. Fennec Shand was dodging bullets, killing dudes like crazy. Cara Dune was gunning people down in the hallway. These are all characters that we liked before just because they're all together with no man in the scene. I don't get why people don't like it. Season 2 was great. I can't wait for Season 3 of The Mandalorian. But that's my review for Chapter 16, The Rescue, guys. Let me know what you thought in the comments. Give me a thumbs up down below if you liked the video, like I said in the beginning. And hit subscribe and the little notification bell. That way you get alerts to when I post a new video. Sometimes they don't show up, so I want you to have that alert there. Follow me on social media. I post like content updates with schedules and funny memes and different kind of things. to keep the community active, and we're also pretty active in the comment section. So like I said, let me know down below what you thought, and I will write back to you, and it's always fun talking movies with you guys. But I will see you in the next review.